And our fourth main topic today gets submitted to us by Kyle Arking, who writes, John, did you read the Forbes interview with Jungle Cruise producer John Fox, where he said that they are developing a Chronicle sequel? He also states in the same interview that he would love to make a sequel to The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Well, that's never going to happen. I don't care what he says, if he wants to or not. One of my favorite movies. What do you think? Thanks. All right, well, just quickly on the Man of U.N.C.L.E. part of that. I loved Man from U.N.C.L.E. I loved that movie. And I thought the dynamic and chemistry between Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill was awesome. But there are two realities. Reality number one, nobody went to go see it. I mean, it so underperformed for how good it was. It's a crime. It's a crime more people did not go to support this movie because it's great. I love that movie. And then there's the Armie Hammer thing.
Then there's the Armie Hammer.
Then there's the Armie Hammer. You combine the box office flopping with the fact that like one of the stars now is persona non grata right now. So you can just forget about that. But the other part is very exciting. The other part, the idea of Chronicle 2. Listen, I still remember I went to go watch Chronicle. It was at the Fox studio lot. They invited me over to the lot to come see this film. I didn't even want to see it because I was so sick and tired of these found footage movies. So my brother-in-law, Ray, who does all graphics, I got a hold of him and said, come with me and watch this thing. Because if I got to go out there, I might as well have somebody to go with. So he came with me and I watched Chronicle and I was like, oh my God, that was so good.
Love that movie.
It just was a great superhero and supervillain origins. And of course, the actors in it went on to do some great things. I was with Michael B. and things like that. And the movie is fantastic. And when it ended, all I could think about was, I need to see what happens next. I need to see what, because it was basically just the origins. What happens now? There were still some huge question marks about it. And we have thought and wondered for years and years and years, are they going to do another one? And this is the first time we're hearing from the actual producer saying, oh yeah, we're working on it. This comes to us from the folks, I believe we got this from Variety. And this is the producer, John Davis, who said the following. Chronicle was literally the best return on investment movie any of my movies ever made. Chronicle we did for $12 million. And it grossed 126.64 million worldwide. Then it had a huge afterlife in syndication. It's one of the most financially successful movies in my stable. We're working on Chronicle 2 right now, and I think it's going to be great. We're working on it over at Fox, that's 20th Century Studios. It's going to give us a chance to tell the story in a different way. We're going to tell it from the female point of view. It will have been 10 years since the event happened in Seattle. And a lot of it's going to deal with the fake news and real news and cover-ups. More interestingly, it's the next generation getting these powers that are corruptive. These are young women just finishing college. They're empowered, and this is their journey. I mean, what a new and interesting story can you tell there? And that, of course, comes to us from the producer, John Davis. And by the way, Marie Seifring sends in a super chat badge and live chat. Thank you, Marie. All right. So let's back this up just a little bit. A number of years ago, and Rob, I keep forgetting the name, the dude who wrote Chronicle, the director's son.
Max Landis.
Yeah, Max Landis wrote it. Did a terrific job writing this. And I remember hearing Max Landis talk about a potential Chronicle 2 years and years and years ago. And he told this story about how, yeah, Fox wanted to do another one. But instead of continuing the story of these characters, they wanted to do it just all over again. Okay, now a new set of kids stumbles across this alien nature of origin thing underground, and they develop these powers and they don't know what's going on. And he's like, and Landis said at the time, we already did that. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, you already did that. I am not interested in going back and just doing the first movie over again, just this time from the perspective of a new group of characters. I want to see what happened to these guys. This is who I'm interested in. It was the story of the kid. Listen, the concept is great, but the concept is the vehicle for the characters. I got connected to this concept because of the characters that you wrote. This is what we want to see. And I remember at the time years ago thinking, listen, I want a Chronicle 2. I really do. But thank God they didn't do this one. Thank God, I thought to myself, they didn't do this one. Well, now we're hearing the producer saying, hey, we got the next Chronicle. And it's a new group of characters who discover these powers and it's the same fucking movie. We had this movie already. I get it. Maybe Michael B. Jordan is a little hard to get a hold of these days. I mean, like he died.
And he died.
But I mean, you can bring them back. These are super powered beings.
You never know. Yeah.
I get it. Maybe these guys are a little hard to get. Okay, I don't get recast for all I care. Recast. Actors can act in a role. They can move on and bring in another actor to play in the role. Recast if you have to. I am not interested in you just telling this over again. I wasn't interested in it 6 years ago when Max Landis said what Fox's plans were. I'm not interested in it now. I have been dying to see a follow-up to this, but I have zero interest in just telling the same damn story. No interest whatsoever. Now, I get it. The idea of it is like part of Chronicle was catching these high school guys and how do guys like react to this? It's like, wouldn't it be a little bit interesting to see, well, like, okay, but how would women react to this? How would it affect them? Not just different as in different gender, but now instead of high school, a little bit more mature. Now they're in college and that's interesting. But at the bottom line, you are still just retelling the same story. And I have zero interest in this. I don't want this. I couldn't give two craps about this. I'd rather go see Shit in Hand, or what was it called? Shit
on
in
Foot.
Feet. Shit on Feet. Yeah, whatever the name of the I'd rather watch that than go and see this. I don't know. Rob, I know you appreciate the first Chronicle. I don't know if you liked it as much as I did. I mean, I love that movie, and I've been wanting another one, but I'll tell you what, I have less than no interest in this. What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. You know, there's a lot of talk about, obviously, things like the patriarchy and gender issues. I would be interested in an examination if a group of girls did find this power, how with what they did with it would be different than if a group of guys found it.
There's some interest. That could be interesting.
I mean, let's say it was a group of girls in college that were big activists. You know, and they had ideas about changing the world. And of course, I would love to see a story where like a group of three girls, let's call them three women, maybe grad students at a liberal arts college that are filled with their far left ideology, you know, they're Marxist or something, and they come across this kind of power. And they start, and again, you tell a great road to hell story paved with great intentions, and you watch the rift that exists, and you could make it a really interesting examination of absolute power corrupting absolutely. I would love to see something like that. Again, it would have to be a good story with great characters, and I wouldn't want to see the same story over. I would want to see new people that had totally different concerns. Like, you know, when you're in high school, what I loved about Chronicle is it played out kind of like how I believed it would. But what happens if you're a little older, a little bit more seasoned? You have different, like you recognize what this power could do for you or be immediately. And it would be really interesting to see something like that. Or what if a criminal element found that power, you know, or say some of the economically downtrodden found this power, like, how can I utilize this to help my friends, family, and my neighborhood? I mean, that could be interesting too. There's a lot of great stories to tell if they're done well.
Kim, you and I have never talked about Chronicle, so I don't even know like your overall feelings of it. But just in general, what were your feelings on the first Chronicle movie, and what do you think about the sounds of what the producer is pitching for a second?
I absolutely love the first one because it was fresh and it was new, and it did come in the era of the found footage. However, it was before Marvel. And so you weren't drowned and saturated with superhero this and superhero that. And my issue, I loved it. I love Michael B. Jordan in it. I thought it's funny because I think of the VFX and how there were times where it looked like the guy, you're like, just show me the string, because obviously he's on a string, you know, when he's flying in the air and stuff like that.
$12 million budget.
$12 million budget, so I ain't gonna hate on you. However, the story was so good, and the dynamic of the two kids, I forget, were they brothers or were they best friends?
Cousins.
They were cousins.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe they were cousins.
Okay. So that dynamic of what kids are dealing with when they're at home, and then add, what if I get a superpower? You know, because I remember the one kid, his dad was like abusing him or something.
It was a rough relationship. Yeah. Because they had the sick mom and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But even Michael B. Jordan, his
Fox.
character, Michael G. Fox, he was dealing with stuff at home too. And I always like looking into the teen years are so hard, and add what everyone behind this face of like, I'm the cool guy, I'm the jock, I'm the nerd. Everyone goes home, and at the end of the day, we're all struggling with insecurities and relationships. And I liked that element that they took it deeper just with the powers. To me, it was more about the relationships and the struggles. And then you added the power, and it was just cool. Like, I really liked how he could fly. It looked really cool. But the ending of Chronicle is what got me. The ending of Chronicle of the one kid, I guess that were cousins. And wasn't it like he was like, I'm going to figure this out. Like, I promise you.
Yeah. Like,
and he was just promising to the memory because the kid passed away.
Like, for you, I'm gonna, it's like, it just left this giant open door to continue the story.
You were already expecting a sequel. So the fact that this isn't, I want them to tie that kid in. I don't want to see what you just read. I don't want to see that, because here's the problem. Is it number 7? The movie that's just like it. I
Am Number 7. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, where the kid got, they were picking him off. You guys, I'm doing a terrible job remembering this. It was a kid that had powers, and the government they were picking him off one by one. And he's like, well, I'm number 11 or.
Well, it's the one where there were aliens, where he was an alien. It's like, and I think it's I Am Number 7.
I Am Number 7. Okay.
Yeah. Or I Am Number 4 is what
I'm number 4.
Thank you, guys. I Am Number 4. My problem is I've already seen a reboot, because I Am Number 4 was much like it. The one that came out with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jamie Foxx, that was very similar in terms of people who aren't like Superman, where they were born with this, or they've always had it. People who stumbled upon power and all of a sudden are using it. That trope has been done quite a few times. Some of them did it great. Some of them, I'm like, great, this is a sequel to Chronicle. Again, I don't believe that because there was a male version, or I don't like to call it a male version, a story that centered around males, that we have to do a female. I believe we're better together. There are things that everyone can add to the pot. And so I think it should be more of, this guy is still around, whatever the kid's name was, I forgot, was it Matt or something like that? And he sees, maybe on the news or maybe on YouTube now or on Instagram, now that we have that, and we didn't back then, at least in that degree, and he sees these girls and it's like, you know what? This ruined my family. This ruined my friends. My cousin died. I had to kill him. Let me find these girls and let me kind of shepherd them into, look, I know how ugly this can get. Let me help you. Continue the story of him trying to figure it out and trying to make good on a really crappy situation. I mean, his friends died, but tie it in. Let's not do Ghostbusters. Let's not do like, now it has to be women. We're all better together, guys. Everyone's got something great to add to the pot. Let's mesh this together, because I've already seen the sequel in many other films. I don't like this.
Well, the question is for you guys. What do you think about this? I mean, I got super excited when I read the headline. The producer says they're going to work on Chronicle 2. And then I read it was that damn story that Max said about 5-6 years ago they wanted, that I have absolutely zero interest in. I don't know, but maybe you guys do see more into it than I do. How are you guys feeling about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.